advantage of our lived experience. Please help me welcome our current Vice President Education, Camille Morales.
Just trying to navigate pathways, not for the guests right now, but for members. Does trying to navigate pathways frustrate you? Have you overwhelmed, make you feel listless? Do you feel like giving up and not be a Toastmaster anymore? Not in a, take the light off. Not giving up as a public speaker, because we all have that audacious experience to go through. We all going to panic. Right now my heart rate is going crazy. But giving up because of pathways, it's change. Well, the answers to your pathway problem should be simplified here tonight, hopefully. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, my name is Camille Morales and I'm the current VPE, Vice President of Education, of Southwest Project Management, which means I'm your teacher. I'm your professor. I'm the one who will grade you and keep track that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're achieving your goals. So the hardest part of any project is getting started. You're getting started, getting up here to speak for the first time, getting started when we had the legacy program, doing your icebreaker, getting started as a parent, getting started anywhere in life. That's the hardest thing. So what I want to do, because we do not have like a lab setting, I would have liked everyone to have a laptop. That's an ideal situation, but we don't have Wi-Fi here. So I'm going to go through also the steps in pathways. Unfortunately, the guests may be a little bit lost tonight, but once you become a member, it will all make sense. When we enter the pathways, or you go to toastmasters.org and you have the tabs at the top, you go to pathways. That's the first step. You log in. When you click on pathways, it's going to ask you to log in with your username and password, which you would have gotten an email from Toastmasters headquarters. And this is what you would see. It's a lot of reading and it's choices. But here you would choose a path, and only if you're a pathway Basecamp manager, which is a whole other section. We're just going to go through what you do as members to get into pathways, to get to your paths and your projects. So for right now, all we're doing, you can choose your path. After you choose your path, then you have to come back and log in through your club. If you're a member of more than one club, you would have an option here. If you're a member of only one club, there will be no option. The navigator is the most helpful tool that nobody uses. The navigator, there is a printed format and the electronic format. The electronic format actually have videos, it have links to everything that we possibly need, even all the parts, all the evaluations, everything. But because they put it out as a manual, it's the best tool that is not used. And once you focus into it, it's just like school. If they tell you use your textbook and you go into it, you will see it. But if they don't tell you, you don't go. So after you choose your path, in order to choose your path, you would go through an assessment. Is the next step. You have to do an assessment. So when you click on choose your path for yourself, you would see this page. You have the option. Most of us would do online. A lot of old timers, like myself, will choose select printed copy. There are a lot of disadvantages of taking a printed copy because you only entitled. Once you do printed copy, you don't have the option to do evaluations online. you have to mail everything in once they mail it to you. When you complete your parts, you can't submit it online, you have to mail it. So right now, no one in our club is doing printed, so we're not going to look at this. If anybody chooses printed, I will talk them into going electronic. But you do your assessment. What happens when you do your assessment is based on your preferences and your goals. You answer questions to what you like, to what you want, what you understand. What will happen is Pathways will give you 3 parts. They will recommend 3 parts, excuse my accent, based on your answers to your questions. You don't have to choose one of those 3 parts. You can actually override it and select your own path. There are 10 parts in Pathways which we will go through, but you don't have to choose what they recommend. You can override it. Once you select a path, you have 30 days to change it. That you let your VPE know for this club, you let me know that you don't want that path, you would like to try another one, and you can change it within 30 days. I can get that request to headquarters and have it changed. Once that 30 days have passed, you're stuck with that path, you can purchase one for yourself and start a new one. The very first path is free when you become a member. I'm not sure of the finances for here, but next. After this is the assessment, you would select your language and do start. And in this case, you can select what you would like here, and then you answer your questions. But again, whatever they recommend at the end is not mandatory to select. You can override it and select the path that you want. So these are in that case there, those were recommended. And these are the 3 paths that was recommended as an example, and then you select one. So they give you an option for 1, and then they give you an option for 3, and you select 1. Then you enter Pathways, you selected your path, and then now you open your first project. So I said before, we selected the path here, and then we come back to the front of Pathways, and you log in on this side, the correct club, and you log in as a member, and then it brings up your project. So you have these tabs again, navigating. The navigator never uses. No one ever says to use it, so it's not used. Very, very important. This is where you would track your education transcript. When you complete a path and it goes to the Basecamp manager, which is the Vice President of Education, the President, or the Secretary, either one of us can give a feedback. Good job, well done. We can present badges. They have electronic badges. What I would like to do for this club is that as the BPE, I would print badges when they're earned, and we could present it here. But we would have to get like certificate forms, paper, because it's online only right now, and we don't acknowledge or appreciate. I can say good job, well done, and you get it in an email, and then the email gets lost at the bottom, and you never really see it. Some I've seen, as I said, I did a lot of research for online for other countries and stuff. They would put it on their Facebook. Look who earned level 1. Look who earned level 2. They hype it up to make you feel like you're achieving something. Because we're coming here to grow and to learn, but then it's like if you're not acknowledged, you're not motivated. And then your speech evaluations. This is not where you load your evaluations. This is if your evaluator wants to evaluate you electronically, they would go here, right? Because we don't have access to Wi-Fi and we don't use laptops at meetings, it's not really used here, but a lot of corporate clubs using it because they're on site, they have their corporate access and they come with their laptops. So you go to my education transcript, and it brings up the part that you selected. Once you select your part here now, you have to open your curriculum. This is where it will give you the different speeches. Every part has 5 levels. Only one will be open at a time. And you have 5, in level 1 you have 5 options. You have the icebreaker, you have 3 things in here to do, and then a research, but it breaks it down for you. And you must do a completion in order for me to know that you've completed. Because I'm very interactive with the members in this club, I know where everybody is at. If you belong to a next club, some BPEs are not, they wait for you to tell them. You have to tell them where you are, what you did, you know, what you want to do, what goals you have. Otherwise, you could have completed a whole path, and if you don't tell your BPE, you don't really go anywhere. Because we have to go in and push it to the next level. Pathways and Toastmasters International Leadership Central, they do not speak to each other electronically. So after I approve something in Pathways, I have to go over to Leadership Central and put it in for you to see it in Toastmasters.org. So you would start with your icebreaker, you would do launch, and it will bring up your whole project. Why you don't have to do printed path, pay the $25 and get it, because every project you have the option to print it. So if you still want to see a hard copy, once you reach your project, level 1, and you drop down here, it will have the complete project, and it has print project checklist, print project. So you can print your project one at a time as needed. In this case, it would print all of level 1, everything in level 1, even all your research and everything that you need to do. So, and then you go through it step by step. It prints your evaluation sheet together with the project itself. So you can, what I did for my level 1, I printed the whole project just from right there and stapled it 3 so that I have the icebreaker evaluation, evaluation and feedback, and my evaluation form. Evaluation and feedback part 2, and so it's all in a booklet, and you just kind of walk with that booklet for each one, hand it to the evaluator, and they sign off on it. When you complete everything, you submit your awards. Once you're finished, you have to go back and redo the assessment that you did in the beginning. This is a very important step that everybody is missing. Because there would be, I finish all my speeches, I finish all my sections, and I'm still seeing that I'm not complete. What am I missing? You need to go back and do your final assessment and still go back and complete my project. It's a lot of unnecessary going back, but until they update the system more and more, once we drop off, once